Thank you for watching, liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing right now.
I say we have a pretty wonderful community here at live.pirillo.com, and of course they're the people in the chat room throughout the day and night, since I stream this live video feed pretty much all the time. Even when I'm not here and the lights are out, people are still quite active. And when I was searching for topics for tonight's videos, I was reminded by iBowler here in the chat room, who's got a blog on lockergnome.com, that he had written top 5 bowling tips specifically for bowling noobs, of which I would be one, kind of. And I decided, after seeing XX Owns XY's video that she put up on YouTube the other day, and you might remember XX Owns XY as the person who wrote the top 5 tips for girl gamers. She had been trying OE Cake, which I had recommended in an earlier video for either Mac or PC. I'm not exactly sure. I think XX, are you doing this? I think you did it on Windows. She must have. Anyway, she did a fantastic job, so I decided to play it in the background, at least as far as it goes, while I read Eric or iBowler's tips for bowling noobs. And before I go any further, I took a bowling class in college as an elective. I needed to, like, physical activity. I took bowling. Everyone else was racquetball, football, foosball. No, I took bowling. No, the foosball wasn't an option. I probably would have taken that instead. And they used to call me Thumper, because I would throw the ball, and no matter how hard I tried, it would just inevitably, thump, 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 thump. It was horrible. Horrible. So maybe these tips are going to do me some good the next time I decide to go bowling, or not. Tip number 1, know your shoe size. You need special shoes to bowl in, as street shoes can damage the approach. And if you don't know, check inside your shoe for a tag or the bottom part of your shoe. And if you don't know what shoe size you wear, I don't even think you're fully qualified to bowl. Of course, that may be a stretch depending on which state you live in. Number 2, after you get your lane, look for the bowling ball that weighs the perfect amount for you and make sure it fits your hand. That is key. And I mean, I tried lighter balls, I tried heavier balls. Ultimately, though, I couldn't find balls that made me happy. Or, I mean, a ball, not... Tip number 3, no food or drinks in the bowling area. There's a reason why those signs are all over the place. What happens if you spill soda all over the approach? You stick. Sugary carbonated water turns into a sticky syrup that is pain to clean off the approach and shoes. And if you fall and hurt yourself, it's nobody's fault but your own. Don't even bring water down there. Precautionary measures. That's important. And I might note here that my dad broke his wrist as an adult when he was bowling. Shattered it completely. And he later broke, I think it was the same wrist, walking backwards on his motorcycle, teaching a motorcycle safety course. And I think I uploaded those photos to Flickr. So Eric's not kidding here. iBowler, that's absolutely true. Safety first. Tip number 4, don't go bowling with Chris Pirillo. What? No. You see that black line where the gutters start? Don't you dare go past it. That line is called the foul line. And what it does is, A, lets you know that you went too far down, and B, saves you from injury. That's where my dad screwed up. Why? Because after that line, there's a ton of oil that goes the rest of the way down the lane a certain distance. That oil is clear and very slippery, and you will get hurt. Indeed, that's true. That's the only way I was able to pass that elective in college, since I'm Italian and I produce just some insane amounts of grease. They just used me just rubbed my head on the lane. Worked well. Didn't have to throw another ball, and was happy with the C- that I got. How do you get a C- in bowl? Anyway, tip number 5. Bowler's courtesy. Now, I know you're new to the game and all that, but league bowlers, such as Eric, as he notes, hate it when people just rush up beside, even in front of them, and bowl. It's very agitating and dangerous. Bowling balls weigh up to 16 pounds. So do I. And I've been thrown around at bowling alleys. That's a different video for a different day. And if you get smacked by one of those suckers, those balls, if you get smacked by balls, you're going to get some broken bones. Bowling balls, folks, okay? I'm assuming you have a maturity level that far exceeds mine. He throws in a quick tip here. He says if you're bowling in the first or last lane of the bowling center, do not go down that aisle and knock down the pins that way. Why? It's dangerous, and you can get kicked and banned from the center. It's happened, so don't do it. So these are, I think, good guidelines. And really, really good. He's right about the courtesy. I was always very careful about watching, who was, bowling on either side of me, because they would clean my clock. I don't do well. I don't even do well at Wii bowling. I got kicked out of that. I can't. They won't even let me play it anymore. I know it sucks, and I own the game. Anyway, thanks XX owns XY for the animation there. We'll have to link off that video when we post these tips, or links to this a link to these tips to Eric's blog on lockergnome.com. Eric, do you want to post your blog URL here in the chat? He's got voice right now, and so I'll let him do it if he hasn't already. I'm assuming he has. And sorry, Pixie. Don't worry, it'll clean right off. It's not gonna kill you. It doesn't kill you. It may only make you stronger. Thank God they got a little poo in them. I mean, poo. If you have any other sport tips, feel free to pass them along, because I'm just not full of them. I'm not much of a sporting guy. Just not. Never have been. You know that. I mean, we've been over this over and over again. I'm just not into it. Never will be. I swear. I'm not into it. Anyway, you know my email address, chris@pirillo.com. This is my sport, geeking. If that was an Olympic sport, I would probably not even place, because I'm not even good at that. But I am good at streaming out live video out on the internet 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and engaging the community as often as I possibly can. And I get busy throughout the day, and I'm doing things, but that's the thing. They keep themselves entertained, and they're having fun with the other recommendations that everybody's making, so feel free to stop by. We're streaming live 24 hours a day in this chat room at live.pirillo.com. We'll see you later.